Hi, everybody. I would like to start with a small quiz. What is the stage of digitalization in the wealth management industry in 2022? 3 possible answers. We are the top, can't do much better. Or it's cool, some improvements still possible. And 3, come on, still at the Stone Age. 1, 2, 3, anybody has an answer? It is, of course, super easy. Still at the Stone Age. Thank you. Sorry. Fintech or wealth tech are often buzzwords. Since nowadays, if you want to manage assets with a system not relying on artificial intelligence or without API connectivity, you are not taken seriously because perceived as old-fashioned. Such new fancy words appear on average every decade. E-business, virtualization, cloud have often been new terms to describe existing technologies continuously evolving. They also testimony a major and inevitable trend in our society and in finance, digitalization. Today, the latest buzzwords are definitely disrupt or revolution. Wait a minute. Have you ever wondered why now any innovation either needs to be disruptive or revolutionary or both to be interesting? I have worked in IT and finance for the last 25 years. And anytime I hear such a new word, I immediately want to understand what it really means. So my reaction is always to say, excuse me, I was born Belgian, and I am not an engineer. It therefore, unfortunately, takes me twice more time to understand something. Then, after laughing, the person in front of me often starts explaining as if I was stupid. And you know what? Even if I since then also became Swiss, I still often do not understand the disruption or the revolution. So, in such case, always think of the Forrest Gump film and run, Forrest, run. My target today is to give a message of hope and tips to all university students present in the audience today who represent Generation Z and want to later work in the wealth management industry to have an impact on its digitalization. Today, the most recent significant innovation in this industry may be definitely blockchain, because it can have a really important impact. Just want to make sure that I don't miss anything. It indeed may transform the current internet called Web 2.0, where the data is centralized in the hands of some very powerful big tech firms, to the newly named Web 3, aiming to be the decentralized web of data ownership. In finance, blockchain technology offers the first peer-to-peer exchange of securities and currencies without any intermediary, with no downtime, on a 24/7 basis, meaning that it can really be a revolution more than an evolution. The current traditional finance called TradFi, where you need to trust the official entity that centralizes the data on exchanges, typically a clearinghouse for securities or registrar for mutual funds, may evolve to decentralized finance, where there is no centralization of data because some parties of the blockchain will interact to validate a transaction that will become public and that none of the parties will be able to transform after, even if they may not trust each other. You may have noticed that I use the conditional to speak about the potential breakthrough blockchain technology might have on our future. And I am sorry for the technological fashion victims present here today, but digitalization cannot be an objective in itself. It is only a mean to reach one single goal, answering human pains. Which also means that if there is no pains, there is no IT project. History is indeed full of innovations that did not have the expected success because people must buy into them, to adopt them. And it is the reason why you need to put humans at the center of any innovation, by particularly taking care of their needs, setting the right level of expectations that you can meet, understanding individual parties' interest, transforming problem into opportunities, and running away from assumptions. Let me go through all these 5 points one by one. First, what is your need? When you go to your doctor, he most of the time asks you the most common simple question: what is your problem? I'm always amazed that in finance, people don't dare asking the same question. Dear client, what is your problem? You always have to focus on the needs of the person in front of you, because it is only by knowing the pain points that keep them awake at night that as a doctor, you will be able to find the right solution for them. Let me take an example, the construction of a house. Like any important digitization project, building a house requires an architect to translate the needs of his clients into a list of specifications, enabling to build the house fulfilling their requirements. So, is the house built with the latest technologies? I have no clue, and I don't care, because it answers my needs. It has been specifically built for me. This is my house. Digitation project works exactly the same way. The focus must be the user, never the technology. 2, only set expectations that you can meet. Digitalization projects fail mostly because the level of expectation set could not be met. It is, of course, very appealing to think technology can solve everything, but it just can't be true. Like in a couple, before marrying, you must take the necessary time to get to know each other, to understand what you can reasonably expect from the other one. Digitalization works the same. If you are a client, before engaging on the long term, it is essential to speak with your supplier, to understand his capabilities, his financial strength, his references, his future development plans. Because all the data and information you will collect during this phase, all his behavior with you will allow you to envisage how the relationship will evolve over time, because it is absolutely certain you will go through good and less good moments. 3, always make sure to know the interest of each involved parties. Technological breakthrough only happen when each individual party finds a personal interest into them. Let me illustrate this with an example. Data aggregation in wealth management. If tomorrow you win 100 million at the lottery and become what we call an ultra-high net worth, what are you going to do? Since you will most probably not be able to spend all these millions in a short period of time, there are good chances you will split them as multiple eggs in multiple baskets. This de facto makes you a complex investor, because most probably you will invest all these assets in multiple banks through multiple asset classes. And here comes the problem. How are you going to aggregate the data of all these banks to have a consolidated reporting of all your wealth and decompose all cost and performance elements or risk exposures? You will then realize that we are in 2022, and despite different initiatives, there is still no standard to aggregate data between different banks. Why? Very simple. What is the interest of Bank A, Bank B, Bank C to agree on a standard that will make them interchangeable, therefore allowing you to stop working with one and smoothly move your investment to the other one? You therefore understood that banks had a common interest in communicating between each other for payments, which they successfully did with the SWIFT network, but in this case, there was zero interest of collaboration. So for students in the audience today, I potentially have a fantastic news for you. Today, aggregating data from different banks often means receiving flat files in SFTP that nobody in the industry has yet succeeded to process 100% manually for every asset classes and transaction, because each files are different. So for the ones who understood what I just said, I know exactly the question you now have in your head. What? Is he serious? Does it really mean that a well-tech company still needs to process 100% of the data, and a part of this needs to be done manually? To aggregate portfolios held in different banks, to have a consolidated reporting? The honest answer is yes, of course. Funny, no? I just turned 50, and I am active into this domain. And I sincerely hope one of you will put me in retirement as soon as possible. If you succeed to transform this problem into opportunity by inventing the new technology that you will be able to impose because you successfully found a common interest between all involved parties. And by the way, it might also make you rich, because a company active in this domain has recently been valued in the US more than $2 billion. 4, each problem is an opportunity. Human needs continuously evolve. And this is a fantastic opportunity for all students here, because it means that what is true today might change and become an opportunity for you tomorrow. Do you remember my introduction on blockchain? Why has decentralized finance been invented? Simply because there are some smart guys who succeeded to transform problems into opportunities. Just take an example. Do you find normal that today, in 2022, if you buy a share of a company on the stock market, you will actually receive it in 2 working days, what we call T+2 settlement? Meaning that in some cases, with weekends or bank holidays, it will end up being 4 to 5 days later. Isn't it amazing when you think that the US market was still T+3 in 2017? Blockchain, of course, changes with what we call instant or atomic settlement. This simply shows there is space for any new entrants in any market. If they succeed to transform problems into opportunities because they carefully listen to the continuously evolving needs of people, they adapt and solve problems creatively. 5, run away from assumptions. Never make assumptions on people's needs. There is a high probability they will be wrong. Why? Because the way each of us thinks has been built by our former experience, making it, of course, different for each human being. This means that you always need to adapt to the person in front of you. And never assume she sees the same things than you. You might have heard about the nonviolent communication invented by Marshall Rosenberg. It truly changed my life. Not that I was particularly violent before, but because I discovered the incredible power of this type of communication. It simply says that your action or communication may be perceived differently than your original intention by the person in front of you, potentially making her feel in trouble. If she succeeds to translate the bad feelings it generated for her, since you are both human who know and understand what pain is for your body or soul, the nonviolent communication will help you to rephrase or change your behavior because you definitely didn't want to hurt her. After these advices I gave you like a grandfather, some of you might now wonder why I'm in front of you today and why I decided to put human at the center of my life. Because my wife that you see here on the picture during our last summer holidays died of cancer less than 12 months after, when I was 36, with a 7-year-old boy, both living alone in Switzerland. This made me realize that we all learn from any experience, no matter how hard it can be. The chance with cancer is that you see its evolution. And in some cases, beyond a certain stage, you must accept you will not win the battle over the disease. And therefore need to prepare life after, which led to the most incredible discussion with the deepest intensity I have ever lived. Consequently, I decided that I will win another battle. Now, like Martin Luther King, I have a dream. That her passing away at only 39 will give me the strength and credibility to have an impact on as many people as possible during my whole life. So, it was super cool to be in front of so many students today who, unlike me, represent Generation Z, and therefore will have different needs and expectations of the wealth management industry, offering you plenty of opportunities to shape the future of this industry. I also hope my examples help you agree that this industry is still at the Stone Age, giving you again plenty of possibilities for your future career. After this message of hope, I would like to conclude with the following. You will learn plenty of hard skills in this fantastic and prestigious university. You will learn IT, business, finance, technology, and you will enhance these hard skills during your whole professional career by accumulating years of experience. But there is a big but. You will only excel in business if on top you build soft skills, because they are as important as hard skills. And bear in mind, you do not learn soft skills at university. It will only be life that will teach you them. You therefore have a big challenge to face now and in the future. Develop your soft skills and put human at the center of your whole life. Thank you.